think I provoked myself like anxiety, and I remember I would feel like I was getting heart attacks, and then I would actually end up at the emergency room. Remember that? Hi, my name is Jen,
My name is Christian.
and this
This is
is Love a
Love a
Little
Little
Podcast.
Podcast.
What?
Woohoo!
Welcome back to episode 4.
It
Can
is
you
a
guys believe?
it is officially
Officially 4.
episode 4. Welcome back, guys. If you are new, make sure you guys are subscribed to our YouTube channel. Turn on your post notifications. Throw a thumbs up on this video because it's gonna get good.
And click on the bell button so you could get notified every time we post a new video.
Let's
Well, a
go.
new episode.
A new episode.
Sorry.
We are available on Spotify and Amazon Music and things like that. So check us out over there too.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, this is officially episode 4. Um, this is crazy because like we are now throwing this in our schedule. It's like a new thing to our schedule. We're like, all right, we got to film for the podcast and we got to do this. So this is like a new, like when you're starting like a new job, kind of. It's kind of like that, but it feels good. But I'm actually having a good time doing it.
You get like
I haven't
that
really.
feeling, the
Yeah,
nervous
but I get
feeling.
excited. No, to be honest, I get really excited to like do this because I feel like it comes naturally. Since I mean, I love to talk. I don't know if you guys know, I love talking. I talk a lot. A veces demasiado, and this is like a good place to do this at, I guess.
Yeah.
All right, Ben.
It's
So
the perfect place.
what we talking about today?
All right. So before we get into what we're going to talk about, don't forget to leave your comments or things you would like for us to talk about on the podcast in the comments down below. And let's get into it.
Let's get
So
into it.
today we're going to talk about what we used to do prior to doing social media full time.
So life before
So,
social media.
yep, life before social media. We're gonna get deep into, what we used to do, what our life was like prior to, doing social media. So,
And I think
um,
it's cool to let a lot of the new people know because a lot of people that find us here, obviously, um, only know us for like social media. They didn't know us for like the beginning of our social media journey where we would um, do content on this like stuff we would do before. But yeah, we're gonna cover all of that. So let's go. Who is Christian Garcia and Jennifer Gomez before
Jennifer
social media?
yeah. So, yeah, let's get into it. So prior to social media, I used to go to school. I was going to college, and I also went to like a little, not continuation school,
Trade school.
trade school, and I did medical assistant and phlebotomy because my dream career was to be a RN, so a registered nurse, and while getting there, I wanted to be working, so in my head I was like, oh, nothing perfect, and working already in the field that I want to do. So I was going to medical assistant school because it's only like a year, and then the phlebotomy was only like a month or something. So I was working and going to school for RN. But when I became pregnant with Camila, I actually dropped out from college, and I didn't pursue that, and I just continued, stay working as a medical assistant, and I wanted to go back to school once Camila like went back to school, but then COVID happened, and I actually quit my medical assistant job because we were struggling. We were struggling with leaving Camila at like a daycare, and we didn't have someone to watch her, and like every single day I didn't know if I was going to have a babysitter or not, so then I would have to call off when I didn't have a babysitter and stuff like that. So then we were forced to put her in a daycare, and I didn't want to put her in a daycare because it's just a lot of crazy things that you hear in the like news and stuff like that from people. So when I put her in daycare, um, I started getting like a lot of anxiety, because I was just thinking things. And then I would like rush to work and rush back to work because I wanted to leave her there like the least amount of time that I possibly could. And so literally I would be racing and like I think I provoked myself like anxiety, and I remember I would feel like I was getting heart attacks. And then I would actually end up at the emergency room. Remember that way? And and then finally Christian, and I would cry and stuff. And then Christian, luckily at that time, he had found a really stable job, and he told me like, you know what, just quit your job. And then I was like, no, like, how am I gonna quit? Like, we like I've never, cause ever since I graduated high school, like I started working, and I was very independent. I didn't rely on my parents anymore or anything like that. I paid all my own bills and stuff like that. And I was like, how like I wasn't used to relying on somebody like that to ask for money or stuff like that. And obviously once you're in a relationship it's different. It's different because, you know, um, it's like you're one now. Your money is my money, and my money is my money. But
That's a good one. That's a good one.
um, but yeah, so that was actually very hard for me. So I told him like, I remember I've always had a thing for like doing nails and stuff like that. I used to do them when I was younger to my little cousins and stuff. So I told him like, you know what, like I want to do nails, and like that I could kind of,
Work
you
from
know,
home.
work from home and kind of just, have my own little money for whenever I want to buy something. Like I don't have to be asking him for money. And yeah, that actually kicked off and then that's when like COVID happened, everything happened, right?
Hmm.
And it kicked off, I was doing
It did really
nails and
well,
stuff,
actually.
yeah. And that's actually how like I was able to save up to fix our house, our old house, because all that money, we were just saving it. Like I was just saving it. And um yeah, so that's pretty much what I used to do. So I used to do nails from home after that. And then after that, during COVID, that's when, our social media kind of kicked
Took
off,
off. Hmm.
people starting. It was not something that we wanted to do. It wasn't something like we were like, man, my dream is to be like an influencer, or my dream is to be like, no, that was never like our thing. But like people were asking for it, and it kind of kicked off on its own, right?
Hmm.
Like it's when
I think that's when TikTok
when
was at its
TikTok,
highest peak
yeah,
because it
because
was
of
during
COVID,
COVID and everyone
yeah.
was home and everyone was just, on their phones and things like that.
And I still remember the video that kind of started it off. It was the one where you're getting home from work, and I was
Oh, yeah.
recording you.
That was one of the first viral videos that
Viral,
we had.
yeah.
Yeah, it was me because I used to work in construction. Well, I'll get into that right now, but it was me getting home from work, and it was like a cool little song in the background, which is like in the song, the concept of the song is pretty much talking about like you work. My husband works very late, so we're not like so we have everything, like
Yeah.
my cousin, my husband works long hours, so he could provide us with this, or he can have, so we can have, this life or whatever. But that was the song that was playing in the background, and I was getting home with my like construction clothes on and things like that, and it just was a big hit because, I mean, overall, it's a little dude coming home from work, a hardworking little guy, to provide for his family, and I think people just found it very beautiful, and
Yep.
they're like, wow, like that's very inspiring, And I think more than anything, that's kind of why we continue to do this because we want to inspire people, and motivate. And I think we're doing a hell of a job. But yeah, continue, babe.
Oh yeah,
I think you're
so that's
almost.
pretty much what I used to do prior to social media. Um, I used to work and go to school, and then like I said, once I had Camila, I dropped out from college, and then I was just working, And then my husband asked me, to be a stay-at-home mom. And I said, "Are you serious?" He said, "Yeah." So then I was like, "Okay." So then, oh, Camila, remember that's when Camila, for like a whole month, she was getting fevers. Remember?
Yeah.
Yeah, for like a whole month, Camila was getting fevers, and we didn't know why. Like, we kept taking her to the doctors, and they wouldn't tell us nothing. They just kept saying it's viral, it's viral. But then I started just getting like a lot of, you know, just thinking stuff, and yeah, that's when I quit. But that's enough about me. Pretty basic, but
That ain't basic. That's awesome. That's a
you
cool
wanna
story.
you could go ahead and let them know what you used to do.
Okay, so you started from after high school, right?
Yeah,
Okay,
after high school.
so yeah, so when I graduated high, yes, I did graduate barely. I wasn't a
Barely,
big
but
fan
she
of
did.
school, to be honest. I wasn't like a bad kid like that, but I went to school and stuff. I went to high school. I didn't continue school after that. But I did go to so when I graduated school, I did go to this like program. It's kind of like it was some program for like business administration and things like that.
Kind of like
Which,
trade school, no?
yeah, like a trade school for like business. It was like business office like administration, like
Mm.
data entry and all this stuff. So I took like a little class on that just because I don't know why I ended up taking that. I just went to take it and but I just went because I was like, I'm gonna just do this because I don't know what it is I want to do. But yeah, I did that, and then so after that, um, well, like in the summer, I got a job at the refinery, did like a summer program, and then that's when I knew like I just wanted to be working like out, like I wanted to be outside working. I know it sounds crazy, like, oh, but you're little, why would you want to work like in like those hard jobs, like doing stuff like that? I just fell in love with it. I don't know. But yeah, so after that, no, it's crazy because after that, after the summer program thing, I don't know if you guys remember this show from a long time ago on Animal Planet. There used to be a show called Pit Boss. So Pit Boss his name is Shorty Rossi. He's another little person just like myself. Who his story is he went to prison for like 10 years. I'm not gonna go too deep into that, but his life changed for the better. He started rescuing pit bulls and things like that, and he has a TV show called Pit Boss. So he reaches out to me on Facebook and pretty much tells me like, like you want to be a part of this like movie that we're coming out with, things like that. We need like little people or whatever. And I was like, yeah, like why not, So I did that. And then after that, like he I guess he liked me and he just seen something more, and he was like, you know what, like would you wanna be my personal assistant? Like, do you want to travel the U.S. with me and do like a bunch of events and things like that? And I was like, yeah, you know what? Like, sure, why not? I didn't know what I was getting myself into. I was just like, yeah, why not? So I started working with Shorty Rossi, traveling. Like, I'm talking about, we did about 140 cities in 1 year. We did cigar events because he's in the cigar industry as well. We did um we did like a bunch of pet expos and just like a bunch of different events, and I was part of the TV show as well on Pit Boss for a little while. So yeah, that's that. And then a year and a half later, 2 years, no, like I was working for him like for like 2 years or something like that, or almost 2 years, and then we just kind of parted ways due to whatever reasons. It just kind of, I did my own thing, he did his own thing. But yeah, and then I started working after that. And besides, before I got into construction, I was coming out in like a bunch of like little TV shows and stuff on like Estrella TV. I don't know if you guys know that network. So if
Oh
you see
yeah.
like little people on there, like,
Oh my god, I
you
had
remember that?
forgot about
Yeah.
that.
So
Yeah.
so I would
And
always,
like
yeah.
platanito
So
and
uh huh.
yeah.
So I would come out on a couple TV shows there, like Noches con Platanito, like Grimita y Costel.
That's actually
Yes,
when we're dating,
yeah,
right?
uh-huh.
Yeah.
Yes, I've
Or
I've came
after.
out
I
on
don't know.
Doce Corazones. I've done a bunch of little TV shows. I came out like in a Jack in the Box commercial, just things like that. I kind of fell into that too. I've always wanted to do that, but I think after like the roles that I was getting, I was like, you know what? I'm just getting used for me being little. Like they're not using me on TV for something positive. Like, oh, we want Christian because of him. No, they're like, we just need a little person who could fill in this spot type of deal. So if I was to leave, they're just like, all right, we need another little person to replace this guy. And I thought about it like, man, I don't really like that. Like, I mean, it was cool because I needed money and it wasn't even that great pay, but I needed money and I was like, you know what? I'm young. I ain't got nothing to lose. I'm gonna come on TV doing funny stuff, whatever. So I did that for a little bit, right? And then yeah, so I did that for a little while, and after that, um, what did I do? Oh, before construction, actually, I did what was it? I did. I was gonna tell. I was gonna say. Oh, I've worked in like warehouses, like packaging stuff, things like that, which I didn't know I was actually gonna use later on in life, like right now, because we have our own merch and we package everything. So literally, that came to
There you go.
use.
You had
So I've worked like
experience.
in a warehouse, and I've also had bad experiences with looking for work. So I'm gonna just break this down real quick. So like there was a time where I was looking for work. I went to a job agency. They denied me just because of my how I look, my appearance. They thought I was incapable of or whatever. I went in there looking for work. They told me we cannot hire you here, and I told them why is that, and they're like, oh, we can't tell you, but here's the list of other places you can go check out. And a regular person that's like thin skinned would have probably cried and took that like, oh man, like they straight like, and I was just like, you know what, whatever. They don't want to hire me. On to the next. Anyways, long story short, yes, I've had my struggles looking for work. Because people do judge off of what you look like. They see you more like a how do you say it? They see you as a what's that word I'm looking for?
Like a burden?
No, that's not the word I'm looking for. They see you as a like they don't want you to get hurt on the job or something to happen because of your height or whatever, right? Of your disability. But technically, you can't not hire someone because of their disability. But anyways, so I had struggles with that, trying to find work, and I was like looking, and then an opportunity came up. I worked in construction for a little bit, for a couple years actually. Worked in construction. Um, they showed me a lot of love over there. They treated me equally, and I was capable to outperform a lot of people because I felt like I had to go twice, no, like 10 times as hard because obviously of my appearance. And I had to show them what's up. Like, hey, you know what? Give me this opportunity. And I guarantee you. So yeah, and then I worked for another construction company. I guess they loved the way that I worked, that they actually had me as a supervisor, and I was in charge of like a group of like 10 to 15 guys. And because I was on, like, I don't know how to put this without sounding like I'm giving myself a pat on the back, but I'm like a really hard worker. And like when I put myself to do
Yes.
something, like I really do it until I like I'll find a way and figure it out. I used to drive a forklift over there. I used to do. I know it sounds crazy, but I used to do it all. So yeah, I worked in construction for a while. Shout out to everyone who gave me an opportunity to work for these companies. It's like I think it's amazing because obviously they see me and they're like, what is this guy gonna do for us? But they gave me the opportunity. They seen how I performed, and they put me in a position where I was getting paid pretty good. And it was like for sure work for me. I had a lot of work, a lot of work. So I was super happy with that, and I didn't take that for granted at all. So yeah, I worked in construction for a while, and then that's when around the time that Jen was like that I told her like, you know what, just quit your job because obviously it's our first daughter and she wants to be there. She wants to be there the whole, though she wants to get the whole experience, and I just feel like it was only right. So I was like, you know what, quit your job, and I will work as many hours as I have to work. So I was working like crazy amount of hours. When I say crazy amount of hours, I'm talking about like 16-hour days, 7 days a week type of thing. Sometimes from like 4 a.m. to like 9 p.m., 7 days a week. So like I was grinding it out doing that, and I'm like, but I never saw things as a permanent. Like when I was doing that, I wasn't like, oh, I'm gonna do this forever. I'm just like, I'm gonna do this right now, grind it out, sacrifice right now, because I know God has bigger plans for us. So yeah, I did that. We moved into our apartment.
Okay, I'll touch into that.
Wait, let me finish with the construction thing. So yeah, I was doing construction, and then and then we did the video thing.
He used to work at a pumpkin
I've done that
patch
too.
and Christmas trees where they sell Christmas trees,
Mm-hmm.
uploading and uploading.
Yeah, we used to
And the strawberry stand.
strawberry
Well, it's all
stand.
one
It's all one
company,
company, but
but
we
it's
used
like
to.
seasonal
Yeah, I used
work
to
and stuff
unload.
like that.
This is crazy, and I know a lot of people won't believe me, but we used to unload Christmas trees from like a big trailer by shoulder. I know, I'm little, but we used to literally unload Christmas trees like off a trailer truck, like 800 trees a day, type of thing. Yeah,
Hmm.
crazy stuff. Crazy stuff.
Yeah. So that's pretty much what we did for work, and I want to talk a little about like, our struggles and things like that. So when I was pregnant with Camila, Christian lived at his mom's and I lived at my mom's, and well, I lived more at his house than I did at
She
mine,
lived more at
but
my house than at.
yeah, but I still, had everything at my mom's house and stuff like that. And when I would get mad at him, I would go home. But anyway, so when I became, pregnant with Camila, we talked, and I'm like, I think that we need to get our own place because I don't want to be like, living separate and then like me doing everything and like him not doing anything, which like obviously was not in his plans. But I was like, and I don't want to live like with my mom or with your parents. Like I want to see if we could do this together. And Christian at
Oh,
first he was like, just let's just stay at my parents until the baby is born. And I was like, no, like, how about let's just try and see if we could do it. Like, let's get an apartment. And if we could do it, then, great. And if we can't, well, then,
we'll figure it out.
we'll figure it out. We'll move into my mom's or something, but we won't know if we won't try. I told him. So, we were looking for apartments and it was kind of hard to find an apartment,
It
right?
was hard.
um
Yeah, it's just.
there really wasn't any like available. Like I called so many apartments, and then some were asking for like way too much. That was like 7 years ago, 8 years ago. So back then, it was less than it is now, but you know
Yeah, I think a single bedroom 7 years ago here we're in California, by the way.
it
It
was
was
like
like
a
a thousand
thousand
two
two.
hundred, like 1,200 for a single bedroom. Yeah, single bedroom apartment.
Yeah, here in LA.
It was 1,200.
um that's how much we used to pay for
Hmm.
our one bedroom apartment, and the apartment was pretty big. Like
No, it
it
was
was a
it was
decent.
very
The
like
room was
spacious.
huge. The
Uh,
closet was
yeah,
huge.
it was a nice apartment. It was nice.
Yeah,
Like it was very spacious. Big living room, nice kitchen, nice
yeah.
dining area, and
It
a
was a nice.
big
I actually
bedroom.
liked living there.
Yeah, it
It
was
was
cool. It was
nice.
cool.
Yeah, so we moved in there. We didn't have like really no furniture. I didn't. We didn't have a bed for like a long. I don't think we ever had a bed until we moved out over there. But
Hmm.
we just like stacked the mattresses in the room,
With a
and
box and the mattress on top.
we bought our couches and our little dining table. And we struggled. We struggled in that apartment for like we were there for a
It
year,
was
and
hard.
there was days where we were really good, and then there was days where we were like really stretching out our money. And then when we were living in that apartment, like that's what Christian had lost his job, or you quit your job. He quit
Hmm.
his job or something like that because of like discrimination and stuff.
Oh, that
And
was
then
at that one. Oh yeah,
yeah, so we struggled a little bit there, but we were figuring it out. Like we were writing it out, and we were just like, we could do it, we could do it, we could do it, and we were trying. We were really trying our best. Trying to budget and stuff like that. And then my mom asked us to move in with her, and I was like, I was like, no, because I just didn't want to live with anybody because I just felt like it was gonna come with problems,
yeah.
and I don't like problems. Like I I I don't like that, especially between family.
Hmm.
So I was just like, kind of ignoring her. And she was like, wanting to rent a room for me and stuff. And then because she was always home alone, because at that time my brothers lived with her, but they were always out of town working. And I think she just didn't want to be alone. And then she didn't like where I lived because where we lived, it was kind of hidden and like really dark and stuff. But it was like cool. I mean,
And it
because
was
we never were
expensive.
out and stuff. Yeah, and it was expensive. And she would always tell me, like, just come so you guys could save to buy a house because, like if you rent forever, you're not going to be able to save. Like, rent is so high and stuff like that. Oops, sorry. And then I was like, and so yeah, and then I just kept ignoring her. She's like, tell Christian. And I never told him until finally, like, I was like, okay, I'm gonna tell him. She's like, you haven't even told him, huh? And I was like, no. She's like, tell him. And I was like, okay. So then I told Christian, hey, babe, my mom's been telling me, like, what if we move into her house so we could save money for a house? And obviously, that was our goal, to eventually have, a bigger spot for our kids and stuff like that. And and we kind of talked about it, and Christian was like down. And then I was like, I didn't think he was going to be down, to be honest. But I told him from the beginning. Do you remember what I told you from the beginning? Like
What?
when my mom told me? I was
No.
like, I just don't want there to be any problems. Like, if there's any moment where you don't feel comfortable there anymore, where something happens that I'm not aware of or anything like that, I was like, I need you to let me know and we'll leave. Like,
But keep in mind, me and her mom get along very well.
yeah, yeah,
We get along super well.
yeah.
But it's just one of those things like, when you, one thing is living away from each other, and then one thing is like, okay, now you're under
The
this
same
roof,
room, yeah.
same roof. Some people got to use the restroom, some people got to do this. Now you're not home at this time or this, and there's always, it could lead to problems.
Yeah, and then sometimes you're not in the mood to talk or just think, regular things like that.
Yeah, just like
And
tedious
I just
stuff.
didn't want him to ever feel or be in an uncomfortable place. So I told him, if there's ever any situation where you're just like, we can't live here anymore, then we'll grab our stuff and go. Like, I'm not gonna ask you any questions. I'm not gonna be like, no, we have to stay here or anything like
Hmm.
that. And so I think that conversation was really important because, I like him knowing that it's my family. Like, I didn't want him to feel he couldn't tell me or that I was gonna get mad or anything like that. Luckily, nothing ever happened like that. Like, my family loves him. He gets along great with my mom and my brothers. But yeah, so we actually, that's when COVID happened, right? Kind of right when we moved in.
With your mom.
Yeah.
Hmm.
It's like we moved in right with my mom, and then COVID happened. And so that's when, like, my nail business started picking up. And, and that's when he landed his really good job. So we were just like stacking our money, we were stacking our money. And then that's when we got our first house and we were able to remodel it and stuff because we were saving money. And, thanks to my mom too, for her, like, giving us the opportunity and the chance, to save and stuff like that. Yes.
Because we were paying rent there,
Yeah, we were paying
but
rent.
she was charging us very little.
Yeah, but
A
not
lot
as
little.
much as we
A lot
were.
little. A lot less than at the
Yeah,
apartment.
what we were paying at the
Hmm.
apartment. And then it kind of worked out because, my mom also wasn't working. So she would help. She was like, okay, I'll help you watch Camila while you do your nails. Yeah, so, thanks to that, we got our second house. And that's kind of when,
Our first house.
our first house, sorry. That's when we got our first house. And, sometimes don't be afraid to take a step back in order for you to be able to take two step forwards, because that's kind of how I was at first, like, oh, we've already moved down, we're gonna go back to my mom's, but thanks to us taking that step back, we were able to kind of stabilize ourselves financially.
Hmm.
And be able to take that step. And till this day, I could say, thank God that, I have a strong, hardworking husband. And we've been able to provide and stuff like that. But you know don't be scared to take a step back in order to be able to take two steps forwards. Remember
Mhm.
that. Um, and yeah, so after that, we were there, and then that's kind of when we started doing social media when we were at my mom's, and
We
that's kind of
started to pick
how,
up.
picked up. And then when we moved into our new house, that you were also working long hours.
Mhm.
Um, and then eventually, you quit
Mhm.
because, social media had picked up for us and we were able to do that. So it's been what,
Three,
3 years
3 years
now
or
since you
4.
don't work?
It's been like 3 or 4 years that we haven't like worked like a 9 to 5 job.
Well,
Now we
yeah.
work 24 hours a
Yeah,
day,
now we were
literally.
24 hours. And then, thank God now we were able to upgrade our house and
Mhm.
now we're here where we're at now.
Super happy.
Yeah. And yeah, so it's been a journey. We all have our struggles, even though you guys don't see somebody struggling. It's very real, but don't be discouraged. And you just have to keep going and find a way. If there's a will, como
There's
dice,
a will,
if
there's a
there's a
way.
will, there's a way.
Never give up, you guys.
Yeah,
Everything's
and
possible,
that's how.
honestly. And remember, nothing comes with laziness and stuff like that. Like, there's going to be days where you don't feel like doing certain things. And, you know, we all feel that way. But that's why only certain people make it because those people didn't give up. There's days where we don't feel like doing stuff but we still take care of business. I think at the end of the day, you got to remember why you started and where you're going. Um, and that's or yeah, and that's what keeps me going. So, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think that was, yeah, that's we've been through it all. Trust me, we didn't even cover everything in detail, but that's majority of the like this the like before social media and things like that. So, yeah, and then so now we just moved into our new house, and now yeah, we've been blessed to do this full time. Social media has done some
Yeah.
cool
So
things and
social
and
media
has done
and
given us a lot of opportunities for a lot of things. Um, we own a couple businesses.
yep.
Uh, yeah, like I own a barber shop, and then we do this. We do a lot of brand collaborations. As some of you may know, I have a clothing. We have a clothing brand, the Garcia Family Merch, which we will be dropping. Love a
Little
Little
merch.
podcast merch on there. If you guys want Love a Little podcast merch,
Comment
comment
below.
down below
Because
so
I
we could
keep
put it on
telling
the website.
Christian,
Cause she's ready for it.
yeah.
She's ready to
I'm like,
drop
babe,
it.
let's do it.
I'm
Let's
like, I
do
don't know.
it.
I gotta
And
see if the
Christian's
people
kind of
want it.
like iffy. He's like, do you really think?
No, I'm not iffy. I'm not iffy. I just want to see the people really
Yeah.
want it.
So if you guys want it, comment down below
We can make
so
some
he
Love a
could do it.
Little
Because
podcast
I
merch.
made him start working on it. So all the designs and stuff like Christian drops his hats and stuff like that. He does like he does his own, I don't know, layout, model, design,
Designs.
yeah, stuff like that.
Like
So
all of our merch, anything you see on our website, thegarciafam.com, all the hats, everything,
they're
all the
custom.
designs are originally made by us.
Yeah.
We
Well,
don't.
by him, and then I just give him my opinion sometimes.
So that's why I say by us because your
Yeah.
opinion matters, babe.
Yeah.
So
Uh,
everything's original. It's not like those things where we buy it, we buy a design or someone designs the graphic for us and like no, I come up with the design, the concept, I choose materials, we choose the fabrics and then, obviously a manufacturer puts it together for us. But yeah, we it's made from zero. The hats and everything is
yeah, it's
it's
good.
good quality stuff. So
Yeah. So yeah, we do YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, now our podcast,
now our podcast
and
is doing really
the
well.
merch, and
Mm-hmm.
Christian's business, the barbershop, which is all a lot. I feel like a lot of people think um that we have it easy, yeah, and we don't really do much, but honestly it's a lot of work. Obviously, like, I'm not gonna be showing in front of people like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do that, this and that. Whenever we're somewhere, something, we like to like be present, enjoy the moments and stuff. But once we get home, it's like, okay, babe, I'm gonna edit
Back
the
to
video.
work.
Babe, I'm gonna do this. Babe, I'm gonna do that.
I'm gonna sell
You know,
merch.
we're
I'm gonna
always
package
doing
these
something.
orders.
Like, I feel like a lot of people think social media is easy, and it's not easy
Mm-hmm.
whatsoever. Especially, you know, you think you're doing something good, and then, you know, like, there's always somebody that's like, oh, you don't do it like that, you do this. Like, you guys know how it is, you know, like, but again, um, there's pros and cons to this
So I think yeah,
lifestyle.
that should be I think our closing, our last topic of the day is
Yeah.
gonna be the pros and
And
cons
cons.
on this
Social
social
media.
media
And
life.
putting our life out there for you
Mm-hmm.
guys, you know. We do it, you know, to be positive, to share awareness and to inspire people. Not everybody sees it like that. So go ahead, you could start. I feel like I
All
talked
right.
a lot.
No, you're good, man.
My mouth
That's
is
not enough. So I think okay, pros and cons about social media for us. You know, everyone's different. Everyone thinks takes things different. Okay, so I think I'll start off with should I do the cons or pros first? I'll do I'll do pros first. So pros for social media and you know our life, what the things that we do is we're doing something positive. What we stand for is a good thing. You know, we're sharing our life with the world and we're here to inspire and motivate other people who might be in a dark place or might think that they are not capable of because of their looks or their disability or things like that. I think we're a good example of showing the world that if you really want something, you can make it happen. Um, but I think that's one of the biggest pros for that for the social media thing. That yeah, we get to show the world that you know just because we're different doesn't mean we're not capable of, like I mentioned right now. And we could live a regular life just like everyone else, and sometimes even do a little more because we just went that extra mile, you know. But I think it's good. I think that's one of the that is the main reason why I like doing this. And especially now that we have kids that also have dwarfism, we're here to educate the world and let the world know that um, people are different, but everyone should still be respected, um, and given
and love a little.
and love a little and give an opportunity and given a chance to at least prove themselves and what they're capable of, because sometimes you don't give an opportunity to someone and it could have been a big mistake, the mistake
Yeah.
of a lifetime or whatever you want to call it.
I think the a big pro too is, you know, the freedom, the freedom that you get, and like spending time with your kids, watching like their every milestone, and, you know, being able to, you know, if you want to go to the park, if you want to go here, if you want to go there, or, you know, I feel like that's a big reason too why we love
We
doing
make our own
this.
schedule
Yeah, we
technically.
make our own schedule,
Mm-hmm.
and, you know, we're not like um missing too much of our kids, which was like a big thing for me because, as I've mentioned before, growing up, you know, I felt like my parents had to work, like go to their job, and they missed a lot of our childhood. And in my opinion, like, I feel like, um you know, I feel like I'm kind of, I don't want that for my kid, you know? I
Mm-hmm.
don't want that for my kid. So I feel like that's like a big pro for me.
And that was another, yeah, that was a reason why we went really hard on this, was for that same reason, because we wanted to be a part of our kids' lives. I'm talking about like being able to go to their school performances.
Mhm.
I take Camila to school every day. You know, like I could pick her up. I could shower her, and then I could like I am very involved. I mean, obviously her too, but I'm saying me in the sense of like as much as I do work, I can schedule myself to do to still
Like
be
work
part of their
around
lives,
the
you know?
kids. Work
So
around the
yeah, and
kids.
then I work from home or if I gotta go do what I gotta do out there in the field,
Mhm.
I go out there. But that's a big pro for me. I think that's the biggest pro. And another pro is when we get recognized in public and people tell us like, "Oh my god, like I love your guys' content," and or they want to take pictures with us, or they tell us like, we're really inspired by you," or like, "Jen, you're a great mom. Like we love how you are an amazing mom to your kids," and just things like that, and what you stand for and what you represent. It's an amazing feeling because we know we're doing something right, because when we go out there and people come up to us, it's still like surreal. It's crazy. I know we just do social media and stuff. We're not like no movie stars or nothing like that, but um, it's cool that we can, maybe change someone's life a little bit, maybe the way they think and things like that. I think that's already a big thing. So, yeah, that's a pro for me. I think. I mean, those are big pros for me.
Yeah.
That's really cool. And then
Cons.
the cons. All
Yeah.
right, the
Cons.
cons. Here we go. You want to start with
So
cons?
yeah.
The cons, the
Cons
negative.
is obviously the negative. When we try and do something positive, show something positive, and of course, there's always gonna be the negative people
The
that are
haters.
commenting stuff like that, and saying, "Oh, well, you put yourself on social media, so you have to deal with it." And it's like, no, I don't have to deal with it. Like, just be, if you don't have nothing nice to say, just don't say it at all. But, we can't control that. We're used to it now, so now it doesn't phase us. But I feel like if you're someone who wants or is thinking of doing this, like, you really have to think about it because people
This
would
isn't for
literally,
everybody.
like, if I have a little thing right here, like, someone would just find that and just because they don't like you or whatever and make that a big deal and say really mean things. So yeah, I think that's like the biggest con for me. It's that although you think you're doing something good and positive, there's people out there who don't think that. And then also I feel like, a big con is that people think that we're like mantenidos, stuff like that. And it's
What is mantenidos, babe, in English? Like that
like
we're like
pretty
the
much that we're not working, that
like if the government takes care of us or something.
yeah, or like
Nothing
like the
against.
people watching, like I always see this comments like, oh, you guys should get a real job. Like, this is a real job, like we're getting paid for this. you know you watching us is not, um it is getting us paid, but you're not paying us, like, if that makes sense. Like, the person watching, yeah, your view is getting us paid, but you're not paying us. And filming videos, like buying cameras, and you know the time that you're spending to film and to edit, like, that's all hard work. Like, it's not like just, okay, I'm gonna record myself, okay, boop, and it uploads on its own and it edits itself. Like, no, it's not like that. Like, editing takes a long time, and
There's a lot of behind the scenes
yeah,
to
especially,
everything. I think overall.
yeah, and then, like, especially when you have kids, like, trying to get things done at home, plus, still editing and stuff like that. So it's a real job, and um, it's not as easy as many think, or it's not like a lazy job or free job. Honestly, I feel like we literally have to be working 24 hours a day. Like, we
It's
literally are
because,
always thinking, like, what do we have to do next? What do we have to do? Checking emails, responding to people,
but it's because I
you
think
know?
more than anything, it's what it comes with. Because a lot of times people think it's just like, oh, we just upload videos and that's it. But no, we do a lot of
Behind the
behind the
camera
camera stuff.
stuff,
Like
yeah.
we get a lot of business collaborations. Like big companies contact us to do a video for them, and we gotta sign these contracts, and we gotta do a lot of there's a lot of requirements for it, and we gotta do it a certain way. And it's a lot of, so it's not just like the video part of like this on YouTube. It's like the stuff that a lot of people don't notice, like the brand collabs, the whole merchandise thing, like
Mhm.
the it's a lot that comes with, and then I still got to do like my barbershop thing. I own a barbershop, so I got to do that, and it's just a lot. It's a lot. I think it's not just the filming and uploading part that you guys are thinking about. It's like a lot. The behind the scenes is what's.
What's another combo that you think?
Another con, I think going back, I think it's just one of the biggest cons. I mean, it doesn't bother me, but it's just the only one I could think of is like she said, the negative comments. Um, Not necessarily that it doesn't bother me at all. It really does not, because I could just block people and that's it, and I won't see them on our page ever again. But a lot of the times we actually leave the negative comments. So if you guys ever see some of our videos and you see like someone saying something really rude or something, we have every right to block it. Like we could block it and delete it and no one's able to see it. But we leave it there sometimes just so people can see, kind of like, oh, look at this person, like that's not cool, or like so you guys can see both the good, bad, the ugly, whatever you guys want to call it. So sometimes we just leave it on there. Someone will say something super disrespectful, and then I'm like, you know what, babe, like just leave it up there, and just so people can kind of see, so they can see what's going on. And but yeah, because we could easily, block, delete the comment,
And
and
usually
like
the
that.
people that comment are the ones that have in their bio like God first or like um
It's crazy. You'd be
stuff like
surprised the
that, and
people that
I'm
are
like,
hating.
oh yeah.
But it's crazy because, like, for example, it could be like a video or a post of something positive, like Jen mentioned, and from the whole video or the picture, whatever it is that we uploaded, like, they'll post something negative out of it.
You'll be
I'm like, dude,
amazed.
did you not get the whole, like, the concept of the video?
Yeah,
Like, it's not,
it's crazy. You'll
it's
be
just,
amazed.
you'd be amazed what we come across. But I think, like she said, if you're thinking about doing social media and you get offended really easy or you get your feelings hurt real quick, this is not for you, because they will come after you. They will chew you up, spit you out. They will say the meanest, grossest things about you and your
Yep.
family and your kids.
Yep.
And sometimes some people don't know how to deal with that.
Hmm.
But it is what it is. We know this is what it comes with, and yeah, I think that's the con more than anything. And but also a lot of people are like, oh, what about you're sharing your life with the world? Like what? Like no, we have a very private life too. There's a lot of stuff that we don't share with the world,
Yeah.
like on social media. You know what I'm saying? As much as we do, let's see if this makes sense. As much as we do share our life on social media, there's a lot of stuff that we do not. You know what I mean? We still keep stuff to ourselves. We still keep, but yeah, I think other than that, that's it. But I love this life. Honestly, I love the life we live. I love staying busy. I love my family. My family comes before anything. I'll do anything for them. And yeah, we're super happy that we get really positive feedback from you guys. A lot of you guys that get motivated or inspired. We love it when we receive messages. There's people that message us like some really deep stuff, like saying like, you know what, like my life before I started watching your videos was so and so, or I didn't think I was able to do this, but now that I see you, you give me hope. I think at the end of the day, that's what really like makes us keep going, like that's so beautiful to
Yep.
me, and I think it's amazing. So
Yeah.
I think as long as we know what we stand for and what we represent, that's why I think the negative comments don't really phase us like that. So
Yeah. So that's pretty much our talk for today. That
hmm
concludes our
episode
episode 4.
4, jeez, episode
And
4 already. That's insane.
yeah, this is kind of fun. I like talking like this. Yeah.
It's cool. No, it's cool. I think because you guys get a deeper, more clear perspective, no view on us, more in detail. Because sometimes on our YouTube channel we just show like little snippets and stuff like
Mostly
that.
the kids
Yeah,
or
the
the
kids and stuff. And here is like, let's dig deep and
yeah.
let's talk to you guys, because I know you guys, are curious and want to know stuff. So, yeah, you guys. So, if you guys have any questions regarding anything that we probably have not covered on these podcasts, make sure to comment down below, because we do grab topics and use them in our episodes. So go down below, drop a comment, ask a question, and we might cover it on next episode. So is that it?
So that's it.
All right.
So don't forget
To
to love a
love a little.
little.
All right, you guys.
See you in the
Peace.
next one.